Alright guys, I'm back and we finished actually Veeam backup and replication, just the overview, and a we can go to a the Veeam backup enterprise manager. Let's see what does it do. So you click on it the first time, and right here. So since we have a full the 30 days trial version, and the trial version is 100% unlock. So this gives you a, like a bigger picture. If you have more than one Veeam backup and replication, it can do this can do a federate. You can actually monitor your entire infrastructure right from here. So that's why this says it's a backup enterprise manager right here. So the first thing is a dashboard, and by default, excuse me, by default is showing a last 24 hours. You can say you can do a last 7 days. So in our case, it's going to be the same thing because we just installed this thing for a few days ago. So right here is going to say, hey, backup servers, jobs, VMs, and templates, and it's the data, and the last 7 days the job run, and it says the backup status is good, backup servers. So we have the warning here. So if you click here, it says no backup server added. So what I'm trying to say is right now, this thing is not giving you anything. This is just a standalone the backup enterprise manager running. So you have to add a backup servers into this one. So to add the backup server, you can click here. See, saying, hey, go to configuration and backup server, right? So if I go to here, configurations, and the backup servers, and I'm going to click on add, and it's going to ask me, hey, what is um, the server name is. So in our case, this is the same server. So I'm going to type the same server here, and you remember when we were on a in a the part one, and when we were installing it and we were talking about the port numbers. So that's why the port numbers are very important, because if you're installing the Veeam the backup enterprise manager on a different machine, and if you have a firewall enabled, then this might not communicate. So here we can say our first backup server. So we added this backup server. Now I'm going to go just for testing. I'm going to go to our home screen. Home screen. See, under home screen, now it says one backup server. Um, let's say refresh it. It's going to take some time to read the data actually. Um, See, right here it says the backup server, the one we added. If we had the multiple backup server, we could have added it right here. And right here it gives you a what you call like I said, the bird eye view. You can see the backups are okay. Now the backup server is okay, management server is okay, and the license is okay. If there is anything, it will give you right here for the last 24 or last 7 days jobs. It will give you the error messages. So we run like 5 jobs, for example. See right here, our first. You remember when we were setting up a file to tape, we didn't have the tape drive, so that job failed, and that's why you see right here, hey, one job failed. We tried to run 4 jobs, 3 were successful, and 1 job failed. And see, now it's picking up the data actually. See, the data processing speed by 269 megabit per second. Source VM size was 5.4 gigabit. Full backup was 7.62, and there are restore point with 621.5 megabyte. And so far we ran 2 jobs and a and one backup server, and you can see that we just backing up um, one VM. We can add more VMs, but I need to increase the size of the repository. Um, so this is the dashboard. That's very, very important to know. What are the options here, because they're gonna be asking you questions on this one. And also, if you're working for a big organization, this is where you're gonna be logging in every day. The second option is reports. You can run a reports right here. Um, Actually, these are the reports for all the servers. This is just one server, and if I click, it's going to take me to the same screen. And here's the option to export. If I need to export the data, whatever is here, see, it just, you can save that Excel file. So I'm going to cancel it. And right here you have the jobs. It's going to show you all the jobs running in your environment, and and this way you can look at it and you know right away which jobs is successful or not. And the VMs right here, how many VMs are being backed up, how many restore point they have, which server is being backed up by, and what is the right here, the location is the default repository, and this is our C, because by default it created on C, and then later we change it to E. And these are the files right here. um, so here's the deal. You just pick up the there's nothing here right now. Okay, here one. So if I pick up one, the CTI, that's the one we backing up, and we need to um, uh, see, when I pick this thing up, it said, hey, mounting backup. So I just clicked on it and start mounting the backup automatically. So what we can do it, actually, we can search the files. If we need any, we can browse it right here. See, it took you straight to that machine. You can browse it, you can restore it, any file you want to. You don't even have to use the Veeam, the backup and replication console, if you have this thing, you know. So right here you can restore it. The file override, keep the same option. You can add to the restore list. If you have to restore multiple files, you can choose those files, and then you can add it one time. You can save this file right here somewhere else, instead of restoring it to the original server. And give you a search functionality. This is the VM. I'm sorry. Yeah, actually, there's nothing right now here. So these are the files. These are the items right here. See, if you have like a mailbox, SQL Server, Oracle Server, um, that's where you go, and you can uh, get it. Right now, we are not backing up any SQL Server or the Exchange server. I do have a SQL Server and Exchange server. Let me see if I can add one Exchange server and a SQL server. So let's go. I'm gonna minimize this thing right here. I'm gonna go to. I can do it from there, but I wanna use the Veeam backup, and see, again, I clicked on this one. That's why it's asking me for this thing. I have to click connect. But if I choose the link, it will take me straight. That was from the our first part one. So if I go under, actually no, this was our first backup job, so I'm going to create a backup. I'm going to do a I'm pretty sure it's going to fail because the data add So I have a 2 Exchange servers. I'm going to add this one, and I'm going to go ahead and add also SQL Server. So this way, one job and 2 machines. It doesn't matter. Under SQL Server, and click on next. Everything is automatic. I don't care. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to go back here. Do I need to select anything here? No, I don't need to do anything here. If I click next, the most important thing is I have to enable this thing, and I can also enable this thing too. And right here, I will use the same option. And see, this one is a SQL. So it's going to find it automatically. So I want to click on next. If I don't choose this option, then I cannot retrieve a the item level for a in Exchange. Actually, you know what? Let me go back here in previous. Let me add a domain controller as well. So this way, I'm gonna add this AD one too. So we're backing up 3, and it's not that much data, so it should work. Run job automatically. Normally I just don't want to keep this time because the other job gonna run in 10. So this one 3 times, and since this is a test, we don't care. So I want to say hey run job right here. So it's running a job. Why it's retrieving the did we schedule this job? Um, the CTISF-1 when we did a file level recovery, most likely. So it doesn't matter. So I'm going to minimize this thing, and I'm going to go back to our enterprise one. So if I go to a dashboard right here again, now you see it says 3 jobs. It's the Exchange backup. We named it Exchange backup, but actually I should have named it Exchange SQL and AD. So I cannot change it, but so there are like 3 machines are being backed up right here. If we click here, it's gonna give us the number. Not yet, but this thing will update soon. Um, so while it's doing it, so let's go to the items, and that's the one we're gonna actually see if we can, retrieve it or not. And the requests. So these are the requests coming from users, or like when we're going to talk about the sandbox. So when users are going to ask for a sandbox request, hey, I need to do like some kind of test or something. So in our lab, which is a sure backup, a sure replica, for testing purposes or for DevOps, so they can send you a request, and the request will come up here, and then you can approve the request, or whatever is required, you can do it. So while this thing is backing up, actually jobs is still running. So let's see, in progress, in progress, in progress. And it's funny to watch because we have let's see how much is uh, what kind of error message we're gonna get, if we're gonna get, because we have only one server, uh, you know, kind of performing all the functions. So while doing this thing, let's click on configuration basically. So when you go on configuration, um, right here, it will ask you. First thing is, you can refresh it, or you can start collecting. Data collection started. To view result, go to sessions. So we are saying, hey, go start collecting data. And under backup servers, you can see it's going to show you the backup server. The one we have it is the only one. You can add more if you want to. You can do a schedule for a data collection settings. Like, hey, periodically every 15 minutes, or you can do it manually. So these are all like options you need to remember basically. Hey, what is the default option for backup enterprise manager to refresh data? By default is 15 minutes. People don't remember it. I might not remember it, but uh, uh, at least for the exam, you have to remember it. In real life, who cares if it's not? For example, if it's not updated, you click on it. Hey, refresh data. It makes your life easier. But for exam perspective, you have to remember it 15 minutes. So that's why I'm keep repeating it. So you guys not gonna forget. I'm not gonna forget going forward. And right here, whatever your details are, you can click here and save the Excel file, just like we tried to do it before. Right here, you have a vCenter. Right now, I have one vCenter, and this is the version 6, plugins unknown. And what is the plugin? We did not install the plugin. Um, so it's asking, hey, what is the web client plugin? So I'm going to do a come on. Okay, it's panning. So what are we doing here, by the way? This is the backup server. This is the vCenter server. So in order for the backup enterprise manager to pull information from the vCenter, we have to install a plugin. And right now we see there's no plugin, but when we type the password, now we have an option to install it. Once we install it, you can have the option to remove it. Once we install this thing, it's going to give you a lot more information about the vCenter and for all the information. And we're going to go to that um, in detail because you're going to be quizzed on that one a lot. Is like if you want to know the environment, how much disk space is there, what is the how the resource is being used, it's going to give you a one big picture about your the VMware environment without going to the vCenter. So okay, it did install it. So it's version 9.0711, and these are the search servers. You can do a sync catalog. Let's say sync catalog. Catalog is started, and okay, what is the a search server basically? What is a search server? Is a Windows server, and what it does, it perform a searches basically about the environment. So this way, you can have a Microsoft search server, and so basically this thing integrate with the search server. um, what server type is right here. You can select. You can have a SQL, like a SQL Search Express, or you can have a Microsoft Search Server SQL. That's what SQL Server. This is the SQL Express. You can have a Microsoft Search Server. You can integrate it. So these are the options. I don't think I'm gonna integrate it, but that's where all the search is gonna be stored. So it's gonna take the load off of your main server. So you have a dedicated search server. And these are the sessions, like what's going on, who's logged in where. Um, See, since we installed the plugin on the vCenter, so this way actually you can see it. how this thing gonna work. And these are the roles actually right here. That is another couple of questions gonna come. Hey, what are the default roles in a backup enterprise manager? If you click add, for example, and right here you have a user or group, and under that you can select three roles. Basically, you have a portal administrator, you have a portal user, and you have a restore administrator. So these are the three roles. You definitely need to remember this thing. And under group, you're gonna have the same thing. You can create a group and you can assign that role, and then you can add or remove users under the group. That's the basic concept. Or you can create a user, um, and you can assign these roles. In real life, when you are managing it, you can give users access just the restore operator or the portal operator. Basically, the portal operator cannot do anything, cannot change anything, versus the portal administrator or the restore operator. Um, and they're going and this is for sure is going to come in the exam, because this is a very important part of the backup enterprise manager. And under settings, these are if you want to do a federate, with the Active Directory, specify Active Directory account with administrative privilege, and a um, so it's going to give you the chart setting. You can have a linear, linear or a logarithmic. Um, right here, you can have a retention period for 3 months, or event history. You can keep it all, or you can keep it like almost a year. 53. I don't know why 53 weeks. Why not 52 weeks? And you need to remember this thing, because it said, hey, event history. How long do you keep it? 52 weeks. Now it's 53 weeks. That will they will throw you. And right here, hey, what is the default retention period? Is 3 months. What is the guest file system catalog? By default, guest files system catalog only keep data for backup currently on disk. With the standard edition, see right here, with the standard edition, guest file system catalog only keep data for backup currently present in the backup repository. With enterprise edition, catalog is also kept for archive backup according to the set retention policy. So that's the difference between the standard and the enterprise. The standard keeps the catalog only, and the enterprise keeps the archive backup too. So there you go. Licensing is right here. Uh, hey, that also I need to show you right here. You can see we have when we downloaded the software and we said, hey, we have a vSphere. So that's why we got a vSphere license. We did not ask for Hyper-V. We could have asked for Hyper-V, but we don't have it right now. So it says 27 days, remaining, and right here to CPU, basically it's giving you like, you know, um, how many CPUs are being used. And also it's a very important question in exam, or for knowledge purposes when you're buying it. I'm going to ask you, hey, how does Veeam license their software based on a CPU sockets or CPU? So you need to remember this one is CPUs. Right here, the notification I was talking about. Right here, you add the SMTP server, and either you want to use SSL or not, username, password, and right here, send daily job reports. So regardless if you enable the notification under individual jobs or not, you can set it up here. And these are the lab requests, the one you saw under dashboard. So that's where the requests are from, to, and subject. It go like it will if somebody sends you a request and you're not going to sit in front of the backup enterprise manager, so that request going to go to via email to you, and you will know. And right here for the restore operation, you can have a the notification. Somebody say, hey, I need a restore file, and so that's where the send restore notification going to go to. And the support expression right here by default is like when your Veeam license is expiring, the support expiration notification by default, you're gonna get an email, hey, your support is expiring, you want to renew it or whatever you want to do it. But so if so by default is enabled unless you want to check it, and you can disable it. Is the key management is right here. So these are, like, you can see a lot of options right here, and unfortunately you have to know this thing. You have to remember these things, because this thing is definitely, you're being quizzed in a lab environment, or in a test, like how you can enable the global notification settings. So global notification settings is enabled right here under Backup Enterprise Manager under notification, and this is the key management, the password recovery key. And remember when we were talking about in part 1 or part 2, I forgot actually, is if you have a password set for a job and you don't remember the password, and or the guy who set up the password is no longer with the company and you need to retrieve data and you don't know the password, boom, you're done. Unless you have a backup enterprise manager and that backup server is added right here. Only in that case you have the option for a password recovery if you enable encryption password loss protection. So, and key retention setting is whatever number of weeks you can have it, but it's by default it's not checked. And right here, this thing is about Veeam Backup Enterprise Manager Service. This is the version running. Catalog is running. Veeam RESTful APIs are this one. Excuse me. And here's the Enterprise Manager URL. You can access this one from this URL internally. And this is the self-service portal. Let's see, what does it do? No, I want to stay on this page. Let's right-click on it and say open the window. See right here, it took you to the same place. So this is your actually, depending upon the access, you can go and log in here. And let's see, what does it do here? Open to new tab. Because the funny thing is it's bringing you to the same screen because we have one server. If we had like everything installed on a different server, we would have seen the different interface. So guys, this is just the basic introduction, and the other thing we were doing is like, okay, what's the job? Is it done? Okay, so Exchange backup ended with warning. So what did we say before? Hey, if the job ends with warning, it's not retried. Otherwise, if the job is failed, it will, by default, will do like 3 times and at 10 minutes apart between each attempt. And this was the success. So what is the warning here? Warning. Unable to truncate Microsoft SQL logs. Detail failed to process transaction log. So it says basically, oh, it says the username and password is incorrect. See right here. Failed to log in. Yeah. So that's why I couldn't do the, maybe the SQL server, that the account I use does not have access under. Hey, look, this one was failed, and this became successful. On the first attempt, it was failed, but maybe on the second attempt, it's successful. So that's the beauty. See, when we logged in, I mean, on this screen, it says success warning failed, but the 3-time kick in rule kicked in, and probably on the second attempt, it was successful. And also the My Exchange server is like there's a 2 Exchange server, and they are configured. I think I'm not mistaken, is on a DAG. So that's also a you know. When it comes to accessing it, or which database is on what server. I should have actually added both Exchange servers, but anyway. So if I go here, under see right here, so it knows automatically, like we have a Exchange server being backed up, and if I click here, it's gonna, I'm pretty sure it's gonna say a database pick server SQL Server instance, because the account password, no. I'm pretty sure I don't have access to it. I did not assign that access to the instance. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is right here, if I do go here under um, the Exchange, oh, these are the users actually. And also, I want to show you something real quick under. If we go to under, oh, this one, I don't know why this one is running, but if I go under here, Exchange backup, it's in the virtual machines. If I click under backups and click on under backup and Exchange job right here, and I'm going to click on the AD server, right click on it, and see, right, it gives you the option, hey, instant VM recovery, restore entire VM, restore virtual disk, restore VM file, restore guest files, and a restore application items. See, remember the application items? So if I'm going to do next, finish, it's going to mount it. What I'm trying to say is like, so it knows this is a Active Directory server, right? So with the Active Directory server, if somebody delete a user, for example, or they delete a change the password, or they do a some kind of the group policy object, for example, so you can actually, you can go and retrieve the group policy object. You can restore to, and see users right here under, I have a user, the computer, for example. I can, this is the server, I can right click on it. I say restore the computer account, restore to, or export to desktop, export to. And here's the deal, they're going to be asking you pretty tricky questions for a, like, hey, from Active Directory, what are the options available? You can restore a computer account to wherever it was. You can restore to, whichever a different OU you want to, um, or you can actually export to a desktop. You know, you can export this freaky thing to a desktop basically, and compare selected object. You know, there's no difference basically. Otherwise, anything got changed, it will tell you. So when we just did the export to the desktop, what it did, it created the this one. So see, is the LDF file. This is the Active Directory. So see, it gives you all the details about that object. I mean, this is pretty cool, product right here. Um, you can compare objects, you can export objects, you can restore objects, and same thing goes for a what you call a SQL. Same thing goes for SharePoint, and in SharePoint actually you can restore the SQL database, or sometime well, because in SharePoint most of the items are saved in SQL, and one thing is funny. I mean, it's not funny. It's pretty important. Is a you can actually restore SQL table. They're going to ask you a question about it. Can you restore a SQL table? Like a particular transaction? Yes, you can. So And this almost 36 minutes for this thing. I'm gonna close this thing, and you can see it is unmounting it. So um, okay, so you got a pretty good idea what backup enterprise manager does. So we're gonna go back to the dashboard. Now we know with the dashboard, once this enterprise manager, we added the Veeam backup server into it, then a what you call you can see the last 7 days or 24 days. You need to remember these two settings. There is no 48 hours. There is no like a 30 days. So last 24 hours and last 7 days basically. So by default is last 24 hours. And you can see we backing up by one backup server, 3 jobs, 4 VMs. Again, the same data. And now you see is a little bit giving you more option. What was the throughput? It goes up to like 316 or 1000, and for what amount of time. So this will give you an idea about, hey, how if somebody's saying, hey, my network is slow during such time, like let's say saying, hey, from like 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for 1 hour basically. So you can come here and you can see if there's any backup is being done or not. Um, so right here from 9 is like 7:30 or 8 o'clock to 8 o'clock. 8 to 8, you will see this. Excuse me. Um, so this gives you like a pretty accurate data. So under dashboard, we went through with this thing. Under reports, we know how to run the reports. We know the jobs. We can see it. Um, we know this job was failed. This is the warning one. And we know how many VMs are being backed up right here. The AD got 1 point, 1.4 point, and so you know right away, hey, if it's a 4 point, what kind of 4 points are. One was the full, and then you got 3 incremental. And also here you can restore it. You can create a failover plan. You remember that we have the failover plan under if you go home is right here, failover plan. So this failover plan is just for this particular server, while this thing can span for more than one server. And then you can do a quick backup. You can actually select this AD server and you do quick backup right here. Okay, backup has started, and you can see the history. And then you have the files. Whichever server you pick a. See, right now we got 4, so we can select as a AD server, for example, right here. AD means Active Directory, right? And right here, whatever is missing, you can restore it, download it, and add to the restore list, and do it, simultaneously if you have more than one file to recover. And and here's the item. We talked about it. We don't have the Oracle, but right here. And you don't see the SharePoint. Normal SharePoint is the same as kind of SQL. And here's the requests. It's coming in, and also going to the email. So I think this is almost 40 minutes, and under this thing we checked about we talked about all these things under vCenter, under backup servers, and then under vCenter we added this thing, and actually we're gonna see it what you call it a let's see if I show you real quick. um, I'm just checking something real quick, see if it's worthwhile mentioning it or So right here you see on a vCenter, vCenter Solution Manager. Which one is this one? One second. No, I'm sorry. That's something different. Um, we're gonna talk about this the uh, the plugin status later. Um, and the searches, session, roles, setting, licensing. We went through with all these things, and a hey, and also here's the option to update if you want to update. Let's say you want to update your license key automatically, and you can see this. Your current license key does not have a support ID, so it won't update. But here's the option under licensing. You can get the information, and there's also you might be quizzed actually if you go under right here and under licenses. You can see right here the licenses as well. You can install license, you can update, you can manage. And right here you can update the license key from there. And also right here you can manage credentials, manage password, manage Azure account, general options. Right here, email setting, SMTP setting, notification history, um, and also right here the users and roles. You can create. Right now we have administrator. You can add a what you call the Veeam backup viewer only. It's just view it. Veeam backup administrator, Veeam backup operator, Veeam restore operator. So you need to know all these roles, what they do, or at least you should know the names because they might ask you this name. And remember, these roles are excuse me, these roles are different than the roles we talked about under Veeam Backup Manager Enterprise. Going to cancel this thing right here. Under network traffic rules, actually, right here you can add network traffic rules, which you can also select it under jobs, but you can select it here the globally, and a configuration backup. Okay, yeah, that is a very important things. See, whatever configuration we did right now, what happened if your server crashes, for example, or you were doing an upgrade and something bad happened. So what they ask you to do a configuration backup actually, by default you can do a backup, or what you can do it you can enable a enable backup to the following directory. So this is a main question. By default, configuration, your configuration backup setting is saved in your repository. See right here, we have a repository 2. You can select as a 1, 2, because when we created 2 and there was an option, hey, but going forward you're going to use repository 2, so that's why it shows this thing, and it will keep your restore point, restore point to keep 10. These restore points are for configuration backup. Trust me, they're going to be asking you about this configuration backup, and when you're doing a practice test, or you're taking an exam, or or in as a general knowledge. Excuse me, I'm just coughing 1 second. So I can click on it like, hey, backup now. So it's saying a configuration backup encryption must be enabled because product configuration contain encryption is. One moment. So guys, here's the deal. This is a very important the topic here, configuration backup. There are about during the practice in a practice test, they're gonna be almost like probably 5% questions is on just this freaky topic here. Um, so if I say enable encryption, then it's gonna say, hey, you need to save what you call a password. If I uncheck this option, I'm sorry, um, if I do a backup now, um, right here, this is the the administrator account, because I'm saving You remember when I'm configuring the backups, I'm saving the password, so I don't have to type it. I can from the drop down, I can just select it. So if I have that password saved, and I have a backup file, for example, this thing, and I save this configuration file somewhere, and some hacker get hold of this configuration file, so technically, they can retrieve those saved password, the one password are being used for the backup or replication jobs. So that's why this is kind of safety thing. Hey, if you have a safe uh, password in your configuration, then you have to encrypt it. I mean, there's no other way. So if I click now, it's going to back up right away. See? And also, see, it did the backup. And if I go under E drive, and this backup, Veeam configuration backup, and this is the backup. And extremely important to know, what is the extension? The extension is .bco. You have to know this extension, otherwise you will not, what you call it, hey, you cannot answer the question if it comes. You have to know what is BCO. BCO is backup configuration. Is very easy to remember. Backup configuration, backup configuration, backup configuration. So actually, technically the way it works is like when you save, when say backup, actually it creates a XML file, and in the the way the process works, and that file gets saved as BCO later. So this is very important to to remember. You can schedule this thing. Hey, do a job run 10 a.m. automatically. Every day. It doesn't take much space, and it's kind of safety. If you crash the server for some reason, you install on another server and restore your configuration, and you're back to business very easily. Um, is there anything else here? And here's the option, restore. If you want to restore, you can actually, it's going to ask you to browse it, and then and when actually you are restoring it, it's going to ask you why you want to restore it. Hey, I'm restoring it because use this mode if you have unexpectedly lost your backup server and are trying to restore it. Once the configuration restore has been completed, the wizard will initiate the process for searching for any new restore point that might have been created after the last configuration backup. So this one is when you're restoring it again, you're gonna be quizzed on this one. What are two options, restore and migrate, and why would you do restore or why would you do migrate? So the second option is migrate. Use this mode if you are performing planned migration of your backup server to a new computer. To ensure there is no data loss, make sure you are using the configuration backup made after the jobs have been stopped or disabled. So what they're saying is, hey, when you want to migrate, make sure everything is stopped. You don't want to migrate something. Most likely, the migration will fail if there is an active job. Just stop it and disable it. See, it says configuration backup made. So the backup, you're going to be using it once the jobs are stopped and disabled. The two things together. Because the job is stopped, you never know when it's going to start. So I'm going to do a restore, for example. If you click on next, when you click on next, it's going to ask you, hey, where are the backup files, by the way. So I'm going to say, hey, backup file is under backup, configuration backup, this one, and I'm going to look at the date is a 12/27. So I'm going to say, okay, hey, this is the backup file. Analyze it. So it's going to do analyze it, and it's gonna look at it, what it is, creation time, and a compression ratio, because that file is also compressed, and the encryption password is yes, restore password supported, and these are the names, blah blah blah, and how many items. See, configuration catalog has 171 items, Session catalog has 402 items. Backup and replica catalog has 48 items. These are just for one job. I mean, two jobs and four machines, and one replica job. So basically, three jobs. Um, so if you have a complex environment or bigger environment, you see how big it's going to get. If we click on next, and now it's going to ask you for that password actually, the one we set it up when we um, validate. Huh? Did I not type the correct password? Oh, imagine that, huh? If I say, hey, forgot the password, then it's going to say, provide the following request to the Veeam Backup Enterprise Manager Administrator. See how important it is for the Veeam Backup Enterprise Manager? So because we have the server edit there, so I can copy this thing to a clip and insert the response message from what you call it, the enterprise manager. So if I go to the enterprise manager, is it there? No, I actually closed it. So you, what I'm trying to say, you got the point, right? Um, I can CTI administrator. So why? I did not even enter the password. It chooses the password. So why it's not taking? It should take it. So let's see in the previous. Cancel this thing. Yes. Wow, did somebody change the password? That's gonna be awful. Nobody can change the password. My keys are not working. Oh. Wow. So the password, which was, that's why our SQL backup wasn't successful. Actually, I couldn't open the SQL server because the password which is saved did not work. So, but I can do it actually. Here you go. Yeah. Under, oh, this was the okay, I'm sorry. So okay, request successfully verified, and this is the key response we got. Now if we go to under um, come on. So we would do a restore. So restore. I hate to you know, um, where is it in the backup configuration right here. This is the file. Let's say analyze it. And next, we didn't know the password. We say validate. I forgot the password. Let's do a clipboard again because this is a new session. See, when this thing is open, uh, key management. Insert the response, paste. Okay. Okay, let's cancel this thing here. cancel this thing here, recovery password, paste, next, next, copy. See, they both are freaking look alike, so let's go under configuration backup, restore. See, we're running both on the same server, so one has to be closed when we open the second one. Okay, see, this was successful. Finish, validate. See, so basically, we did not remember the password, but we copied that, the um, all the bunch of stuff, and we pasted in a manager, enterprise manager, and we got the validation, and we got back in. So right here, we can click on the target backup. Hey, where you want to back it up? Because this is the server name, this is the SQL backup, and we can connect to Windows authentication, and it says checking user rights, blah blah blah, and it's going to give you the restore option. Database Veeam backup configuration. Thereby, if you continue, current database credentials will be lost. So I don't want to do it, so I'm going to say no. But that's the way you actually retrieve the backup. And they're going to be, like I said, they're going to be like several questions on this one: how to um, encrypt it, how to where the backup goes, can you encrypt? And also the question is going to be like, it's kind of confusing. Hey, can you do the configuration backup jobs? Can you encrypt it? And then you're going to say configuration backup jobs, or is a configuration backup job, or is it a backup jobs? If it's a backup job, yes, you can do it. Here, how are you going to retrieve it? So you need to know the difference. And again, by default is 10, and you can change it to 25 if you want to, or whatever you want to. It doesn't matter. And you click apply, and you click OK. So I think we covered most of the stuff which is important for now. And also right here, the PowerShell, they're going to ask you about PowerShell. The PowerShell's console is embedded. You can click here. You can use actually PowerShell to do all this functionality, like backing up, restoring everything. And so how to get to it? So that's the way to get to it. And also there's a putty. Everybody knows putty. And color scheme, if you don't like it, here's the help, support information, and the other stuff. Um, and of course, you can upgrade it whenever the time comes. Um, so guys, this is almost an hour, so I'm gonna end this video. And hey, I do appreciate watching my videos, and if you like, subscribe it.